I'm gonna go ahead and go over how I actually made this plaque and Aspire. A couple people had asked me and told them it's actually really simple. All we're really doing is cutting pockets, profiling, then doing an outside profile, and you're done. So let's go ahead and jump into this. Here I've got vectors laid out, and essentially what we need to do is we need to take this vector and create an offset to it that we have something to connect our pockets to. So there's the one in the picture I just did, and here's the one of the little hot rod that I did, and I just took this vector, offset it out, and trimmed some lines, created some pockets, created some toolpath, and ready to go. Now on this one, I decided I wanted to go ahead and use like a 1911 silhouette or a 45. So I went ahead and downloaded a picture, and I'm using Vector Magic. It's really quick and easy to go ahead and trace some pictures. It's a great way to get artwork, um, line work into vectors. So this one's actually pretty decent. We'll go medium to color. And here I'm going to remove the background, which is all the white stuff. And I'm going to go ahead and save it. So now that we actually have the vector, we need to import it. I think that went to my downloads, 1911. So there we have a quick, easy way of getting vectors. Now, the thing I always check is checking the nodes on these. As you can see, there's just thousands of them. So I always like to reduce the number of nodes. Come over here to fit curves to selected, 1000's tolerance. As you can see, we've drastically reduced the number. So now that we've got this, I actually want to make them cross. So I'm going to create a copy. I'm going to flip that to the left. Actually, I could have done this a little different, but for argument's sake, actually, let's go ahead and get rid of this, get rid of that. Yeah, let's do something kind of like that. So now we'll press F9 to put it in the center. Go ahead and resize this in. Okay, we're going to call that good. So now I need to create offset vector of these. I'm going to highlight them, offset, let's just go 125 thousandths, offsetting outward. So now we need to remove a bunch of lines, and these green ones right here that are closed off, those are going to be our channels, and these are going to be the solid pieces. So we're only going to really deal with these. So what we're going to do is, first off, the inside of these pistons are going to be pockets. So let's just go through. We want to keep that. Let's just go through and blast anything that's not going to be part of our pocket. These holes may be too small. We might not be able to get those in. This is the part that can be a little tricky, is just trying to get your mind wrapped around what needs to stay and what needs to go. So this outside piece is going to be solid. We want to keep that. That's what's going to break up the different pockets. So anything inside there has got to go. We know that for sure. That one's got to go away. Alright, so we know that this has got to be a pocket, so we need it to come around and come around here. So that piece is in our solid, and that is in our solid. So that's going to be part of that stripe pocket. That piece is in our solid. That is in our solid. Okay, so that's a pocket, that's a solid. I have to go in there and take that out. So this has got to come around. That's in our solid. That's a pocket. That's a pocket. Don't need that. Don't need that. Get rid of that little artifact. So now we have a closed pocket. All of these should be closed. That should be closed. That should be closed. So now we're actually essentially done with this. Just go ahead and rotate it to fit my material. So now everything inside this outside border is a recessed pocket. Now we may get an error. There may be a stray line in here saying there's an open vector. Let's see. So we're going to do a pocket toolpath. Going to go 250 thousandths deep, 125 thousandths inch end mill. Call this inside pocket. Yeah, there's one open vector. There's a line in here somewhere. But let's see what it gives us as far as toolpath. All the stars are there. That's all there. Yeah, I've got a little loose line in there somewhere. Alright, if we look at our toolpath, we can see that some of this is not fully machined. There's my loose line right there. And if we go back and look at our 3D view, it doesn't look like it's going to be an issue, but we can go ahead and go take it out. There we go. So now if we, oh, that was from me playing earlier, so we'll delete that. Screen recorder only allows me 10 minutes, so this is part 2. Alright, so if we calculate that. Got no more errors. Doesn't look like my islands are there though. Yeah, islands are there. Let's go ahead. Now we're going to keep the same vectors. We're going to do a profile toolpath, same depth, or a 16th inch end mill inside the vectors. Call this 0625 inside profile, and this will actually go and clean up a lot of that. So now you can see we've got quite a bit of that done. So we can see that this area right here is not getting toolpath. We can go in and make this little island smaller to allow the end mill to fit in there. You can see these holes they doesn't look like they're getting toolpathed either. So we can go in there and make some vector adjustments, but we're just going to go ahead and play with it as it is. It's for tutorial sake. So we've got those two toolpaths set up. Now if we take this one, we do a toolpath, profile, no, we need a profile toolpath, not a pocket. Profile, outside, select. Alright, this is outside, calculate. Actually, we need to redo that one. 0.755 because it's a little bit deeper than our thickness of material. It's going to cut all the way through. Preview all toolpaths. We'll click on that, make it go away. There you have it. Like I said, if we went in there and just edited this pocket and took those holes out, no big deal. That'll be that. So now, let's just go and do the hot rod one real quick. Control C, Control V, copy and paste, F9 to center it. This vector, do an outside, let's say 100 thousandths. Press F9 to center it. Let's resize it down. I'll make that little scoop go and break that line. So now it's nothing more than a matter of trimming. That's solid. That's solid. We don't want that. We don't want that. That's inside. We don't need any of these inside. So the best way I do it is look at it as what's going to be a pocket and what's going to be a solid, and remove the lines. Like this border we know is going to be a solid. We know the car itself is going to be a pocket. So get all those done first. Then we just have to think of this piece and this stripe are all going to be solid, which means they're going to be raised up. So this is going to be a pocket. So now when we clip that line out and that line out, we now have that pocket. This is going to be a pocket, so we don't need that line. This line goes into our solid. So now we've just broken this up into 3 pockets. We have a pocket here. Lines taken out. We have a pocket there, pocket there. Then just go and create your toolpath. I hope this helps.